Turn up the radio and sing along. It's time for another great song. This is the Great Song Podcast.
Season's greetings, everybody, and welcome in once again to the Great Song Podcast. I'm Rob Alley.
I'm JP Mosier.
And we can't wait to get into what we've got today. Fun song from recent history, just in the last few years. Let's dive right into a sample. This is Price Tag by Jessie J. I dare you not to bob your head. Yes, sir. The anthem for broke people everywhere.
Yes.
It always feels good to have somebody say, it's not about the money. Like, let's all just be broke together.
That right up there with thrift shop, right?
Exactly. People love it. Like, man, let's just all, you know what? We're broke, but we're family. Like, let's just live this life together. She's actually caught some flack for this song because of people being like, in my opinion, this is too much. But people were like, a rich rock star is going to tell me it's not about the money. Okay, enjoy your paycheck. But whatever. Just come on, people. Literally, people on the internet are just the worst. Just quit being too much and just get with the vibe. This song is so fun. Like, this is outside of my normal listening habits. I had to have this song thrust upon me by fate. This is not my, I don't go much in for pop music in general, modern pop music, or R&B, which is kind of hits on a little bit. But I actually heard this song for the first time at an Atlanta Braves game. It was opening day in the last, few years.
Still at Turner Field.
RIP Turner Field. And so opening day, everybody's, gathering toward, they're about to open the gates, right? I get there early. You do too, right?
Absolutely. So go to batting practice.
Catch it all. My thing is not what time does the game start. It's what time do the gates open.
Yes.
I want to be there then.
Yes.
I want to be there 30 minutes before then. So
I would rather get there early and leave in the 8th than stay.
No,
maybe not.
My rules: never leave sporting events, especially baseball games. Never leave baseball games or church early, because you never know what's going to happen.
True. That's true.
But
do you leave before encores at concerts?
No.
Okay, good.
What kind of monster?
I didn't.
No.
I know people that do.
Jeez, that's when they usually save their best.
They get out to beat the traffic.
God, no. It is not worth it. I'll sit in the traffic. If I paid $80 to go to a concert, you better believe I'm going to get every ounce of no. No. If you're listening right now and you leave before encores at a concert, please let me know why. I need to know more about your psychology. Send us a message, send us a tweet.
It's got to be a better argument than traffic.
Yeah.
It's got to be one better than that.
Like, if I went specifically to see an event, I'm going to see, that's like, no. No.
Anyway, back to first time you heard
the
this
detective in the movie. Sherlock Holmes is about to say who done it, and like, I'm good. It's gonna be crowded. Like, I don't want a bottleneck at the front door, so I'm just gonna get on out of here. Forget that. No, we can do better. So anyway, I'm at a Braves game, and it's opening day. The energy is already amazing. That's like one of my places of sanctuary. And so opening day, everybody's walking in, and a radio station has a like a mobile thing set up, a mobile recording thing, and they're just blasting this song as we're walking up to the gates, and I'm like, yeah. Like, this is it. It was the perfect setting to be introduced to that song because it felt hopeful and it was just like
Driving, you gave it a little pep to your step as you walked through the day.
It was like, oh man, this is going to be a great season.
We're going to beat the Cardinals.
Like, this is the year, whatever. And so, but I just
Smoltz is coming out of retirement. It's going to be a good year.
I was immediately taken with this song. I immediately Shazammed it. Who is this? I got to know what is this? Do you have any songs like that before we really dig in and kind of dissect the song a little bit?
I got one. It's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum where it's not a happy, joyful. It's at youth camp, probably last year of junior high, so like 8th grade youth camp, Signal Mountain Youth Camp. Every year at the end of youth camp, they're going to play Friends Are Friends Forever by Michael W. Smith. It's going to happen and whatever, you're going to have your moment. But that's the first time I got introduced. I can't believe it took me this long to hear it. That's what Friends are for. Stevie Wonder, everybody in the nation sings on it. That's the first time I'd ever heard it, and they played it in the gym, and I'm saying bye to my friends. I'm like, what is this song? It's happening. And I had an emotional connection with that song.
Wow.
I like that song because of that moment.
That's so funny.
It was pretty cheesy. It was sitcom drama cheesiness in it, and I experienced it firsthand.
That's gross.
Sorry.
I'm sad that's your song.
Sorry, that's my moment.
That you remember where you were. My other song that I for whatever reason, it impacted me immediately upon hearing it to the point where I remember today, 15 years later, where I was when I heard it for the first time. This is kind of out of left field too, is Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it. I was headed to a practice with my band. It was late at night, and I was by myself driving, and that song came on the radio, and it was so different. Like, it was just other and felt so unusual, and it was just good. Like,
2 female front vocalists on your moment.
Yeah, true.
That's pretty rare.
True. And so I still remember the exact spot I was when I went, holy cow, like the song got done and I felt like I had to breathe. Like, it was just, 3.5 minutes of, oh my goodness.
Your inside had to wake up.
I had to be woken up inside. So anyway,
back to price tag.
Yeah, but this song is that kind of, it's just, it can take you to a happy spot real quick. It's just one of those good songs. And she is a co-writer on the song. She wrote the song with, she is British. Jessie J is British. Jessie Cornish, real name.
Jessica Ellen Cornish.
Jessica Ellen. Excuse me. Released in 2001. Written with American songwriters Dr. Luke and Claude Kelly. You may know Dr. Luke from recently being in the news with another artist, female artist, Kesha. She sued him, and there were some allegations, and so we're not going to talk about Dr. Luke much.
I will on Meet the Band.
Okay, all right.
Got some Meet the Band points.
But at the beginning of the song, she references Coconut Man and Moonhead, and that is a reference to Dr. Luke and to Claude Kelly. Those are their nicknames. And she says, and P, and that is her. She is P.
You know why he's called Moonhead?
I don't.
He has an extremely large head.
Well, okay, yeah. All right. It's a virtual planetoid.
I don't know why he's called Coconut Man, but
I
don't want to dig into that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to know. So yeah, she is P, and my kids think it's funny. We listen to this song in the car sometimes, and she's like, it's P and P, and they're like, P. I can't lie, it's mostly me giggling. Okay, so anyway, released in 2001, it debuted at number 1 on the UK singles chart. In the United States, it peaked at number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100. And this song went number 1 in 19 countries.
Really?
Price tag just blew up kind of worldwide, went number 1 in 19 countries. It's in the key of F major and on the metronome at 84 beats per minute. Just a good solid groove. It's just fast enough where if you're a drummer, you can play 16th notes on the groove on the hi-hat and not feel like you're having to kill yourself to do it. That's if you have bad technique like me. If you have good technique, you can do it at 150 beats a minute and you'll be fine. So anyway, but speaking of the groove, let's sidetrack for just a minute. Not sidetrack, it's related, but the drum beat has actually been the centerpiece of a lawsuit. The drum beat to this song is the centerpiece of a lawsuit from the group Black Heat, who in the mid-'70s released a song called Zimba Ku. and look it up on iTunes. You can be the judge for yourself. Zimba space KU by the band Black Heat, and they have sued for copyright infringement. If you ask me, it's just a groove. Yeah, they're kind of similar, but it's not so distinctive that you can say, "Oh, you stole that." Like you've been listening to Zimba Ku and you were, grooving in the studio to Black Heat while you did this, and obviously.
Play a little sampling of
Let's take a listen. Here it is.
You guys can be the judge.
You be the judge. Here's Zimba Ku by Black Heat. Okay. I mean, if that constitutes theft, then I'm just waiting to get sued by any number of guitar players, or you know what I'm saying?
Stole that G chord.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be honest, I'm so distracted by the Ron Burgundy jazz flute thing on top of it that I didn't even pick up much on the drums. I was like, where'd that guy come from?
That feels like a stretch.
Yeah.
That look, I get it. I mean, if you think there's a buck to be made and you think you can win that case in court, then I guess go for it. But I feel like no.
We should have metronomed it instead of if it was 84 beats a minute.
Right? It's whatever. I disagree. I think Zimba Ku, if I'm the judge, forget it. Get out of my face. What about, I'm going to go off script here for a second, but there was a famous lawsuit. There have been several in recent years. There was the Sam Smith, Tom Petty dispute where it was ruled that Sam Smith had basically borrowed I Won't Back Down for Stay With Me. And had to pay some damages of some sort. I don't remember exactly what that was, just off the top of my head. And then recently, just before that, there was another huge
Coldplay
song.
Satch.
There was Coldplay and Joe Satriani,
Viva La
and that
Vida.
one I want to dig in. Well, I want to talk about that one more, but that's because me and you're huge Joe Satriani
Sure, and we
fans.
may do a
But-
Coldplay section later. And we'll talk about that.
But then there was also, what was the huge song? Robin Thicke.
Blurred Lines?
Yeah, Blurred Lines. He got hit with a lawsuit and lost to the estate of Marvin Gaye. That his song had borrowed too heavily directly from that song. He and Pharrell lost that lawsuit. I feel like, and I didn't see that one either. I mean, they felt sort of similar in like feel or whatever, but I'm listening to it going, man, if that, honestly, if that's theft, then it makes me nervous to like
record anything ever.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, okay, so if a groove feels similar, then you're just going to say I stole it, and then now I'm going to be broke. Okay, well, that sucks. So let that be a lesson to you, kids. Don't ever make music.
If you're using all the cakewalk drum loops,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
But for us, we're big Joe Satriani fans. A lot of you probably, I don't know, if you're listening to this podcast and you're friends of ours or you know us or know about us, you may be a Joe Satriani fan as well. He's an instrumental guitarist. He makes sort of progressive rock, and he sued Coldplay, claiming that they had borrowed the melody for Viva La Vida from one of his songs, which now the title of
Believe I Can Fly, right?
escapes me.
I Can
Yes,
Fly.
yeah, something about flying.
We're huge Satch fans, and we watched the title of his controversial song.
And I think I don't know if that's still ongoing or if there was finally a ruling on that. It lasted for a while, but if you listen to him, that's one that you could go, all right. I mean, I can kind of see it. The melody was very similar, but anyway, Coldplay's argument was that it was parallel thought, and they just happened to kind of stumble into the same melody. So I don't know. It does happen from time to time, but that's a discussion for another time and place, I think. So let's kind of dig into this song. Before we got sidetracked, that was totally off the cuff. Like we don't talk about what we're going to talk about beforehand, but we usually come in with notes. But that wasn't even on notes. That was just a thing that popped up right now. But this song is so fun. It has a way of sort of bringing a crowd together. It actually, if you listen to it and go, man, that kind of feels like Party in the USA. There's a reason for that. That is because Jessie J also co-wrote Party in the USA, which was a big hit for Miley Cyrus. But it has that same kind of like, it just feels fun. It feels like it's the perfect groove, perfect tempo, perfect feel for people to be singing it together. And there's nothing that does more good for a song than for it to be, you know, a good time for everybody to sing together. But the concept itself, the theme is also very appealing. You know, it's like Jessie J said, you know, I co-wrote the song about 4 months after we wrote Party in the USA. And she said it was inspired by my life at the time, feeling like money ruled everything and everybody was so serious in their, you know, their shades and their sunglasses. But she said it isn't always about how much your shoes cost. It's about the fact that you have a pair of shoes to walk in, you know, just to be grateful for the moment and just be glad you can have a good time. You know, don't be so stiff and concerned with your image and about, you know, how you're going to be perceived and the money that you're making that you can't even relax. You know, there's the line in there about you got your shoes, you got your heels so high that you can't even have a good time. Like you've come to a party, you've come to a club so dressed up, your clothes are so tight, you're so uncomfortable that you can't even like
cut loose.
Yeah, you can't even cut loose and dance. So what's the point? You missed it. You know, you missed it entirely just to look cool. You know, and then artists going over the top, trying to project an image of having money and doing all this stuff to the point that they, you know, can't even afford to like relax and have a good time because they got to protect their image. You know, they got to look right, bro. So that's pretty much the theme of the whole song is just, man, relax. My favorite lyric in this song is actually not in the song. It's something that I interpreted when I heard it and then later realized I was wrong. But so in the second verse, the lyric is, "Why is everybody so obsessed? Money can't buy us happiness," which is fine. That's a great line. But when I originally heard it the first few times, I thought she said, "Money can't buy y'all's happiness." Y'all's.
Pretty Southern.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's a great, like, I don't know why you use that word, but I love it there. Money can't buy y'all's happiness. And I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I've realized later that I was wrong. She's just saying money can't buy us happiness. And it's still fine. And it's a good line. But I thought money can't buy y'all's happiness. I thought it just sang really well. So I was disappointed in that. So then I had to choose a new favorite lyric. And
Plan B.
Yeah, Plan B for my favorite line from the song is, I love the line about when it wasn't low blows and video hoes. I think that's just, I don't know, it's snappy, it's smart, and there's so much internal rhyme, low blows and video hoes. Like, I don't know.
A lot of O's.
I really like it. A lot of O's. So anyway, it's just a great, fun song.
Pretty simple progression.
Yeah.
1, 3, 5, 4, right?
I
1, 3,
think
6,
it's
4.
1, 3, 6, 4.
Because it'd be
So
F,
A minor,
D minor, B flat.
B flat.
Yeah.
Yep. And pretty much through the whole thing, even the verse and chorus, same chords. That would actually be a great rabbit trail. Favorite songs that are just one progression all the way through, you know, verse and chorus, at least same progression. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And some songs that you don't necessarily think about, you know, sometimes you'll listen to it, you like go to learn a song, you're like, oh wait, this is all the same. But they do such a good job of putting together a melody and some production.
Throwing in a rap.
Yeah, throwing a rap, and that's great. I do love this song features rapper B.O.B. In a verse sort of after the second chorus, and I love the verse, the rap verse on this. I think it feels very authentic. I don't know anything about B.O.B. other than I've heard him on
Nothing on You and Airplanes. Those are his big.
And I don't know, but he sounds like he knows what he's talking about as far as, you know, I don't know if it's the way he delivers it or if he's like got some experience or if he just loves it when he's talking about give me 6 strings and a half stack and you can, you know, keep the cars, give me the garage and all that stuff. I love it. It feels authentic. It feels legit.
Good job, Bobby Ray Simmons Jr.
Whoa.
Kapowie.
Bobby Ray Simmons Jr.
That's a good...
I love finding out people's real names.
Yeah, I know,
I just
right?
love it. My real name is Alfred Mankiewicz. I don't know if we've got
Rob
into that.
for short.
Yeah, just Rob for short.
Oh, that'll be fun. How many listeners know what the JP and JP stands for?
Ooh. Okay, all right. Hit us up on Twitter at Great Song Pod.
Mom, you can't answer. Anybody else is welcome to take a gander at what the JP stands for.
What does the JP in JP Mosier stand for. I can't wait
It'll
to
be
hear the responses.
It is not JP, Jaypee. That is not my name. That would be my parents. Don't
If your middle name was P, that would be horrible.
be the worst
like
middle
just
name
the
ever.
body function P.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Jaypee. Well, yeah, Bobby Ray Simmons Jr. Good segue into Meet the Band, right?
Let's do it. Hey, let's take a second and meet the band.
All right.
Hey, let's meet the band. It's time to meet the band. Hey, mama, let's meet the band. Let's all meet the band. Hey!
All right. Jessica Ellen Cornish is probably the most predominant member of the band because she's the vocalist now. But she's the first British female to have 6 top 10 singles on one album. So there were 6 top 10 off this album, and I didn't even know they made the top 10.
Wow.
Price Tag, Domino, which is a big one, Laser Light, Nobody's Perfect, Who You Are, and Do It Like Dude all hit in the top 10 off of one album, and I probably only knew 3 of them.
I know none of the others.
You'll know Domino if you heard it.
Sing it.
Take me down like Domino.
No.
No? What?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
anyway. There's a Daddy Dancing in the Moonlight.
No.
What?
I told you this is out of my
Okay,
listening.
not our era.
no.
I'm not a Jesse James impersonator, but I thought that would be enough for
Jesse
you to be
James?
like, oh, yeah.
The Western?
Jesse J. Did I say Jesse James?
I'm not a Jesse James impersonator, but give me all your money, cowboy.
Right. Producer and predominant musician on this, Dr. Luke, who we talked about earlier. He basically played all instruments except for bass on this. He did all the keyboard work, all the drum work. He was the lead guitarist in the Saturday Night Live band for a while.
No kidding.
Yep. He also wrote Who Knew for Pink, Girlfriend for Avril Lavigne, I Kissed a Girl for Katy Perry. I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry.
Huh.
So yeah, a bunch of songs for
Let that
women.
be a lesson, kids. First of all, don't be a perv. Second of all, learn to play as many instruments as you can. If you're out there and you play guitar, sit down at a piano and figure it out. Get some lessons on the drums. Learn to play some stuff, because the more you can do on your own, the more you don't have to pay other people to do. Like if you want to grow up and do anything in the music industry, learn to do as much as you can, because it makes you useful and even indispensable to other people, and then it makes you able to do more on your own without depending on other
Cut
people.
some cost.
And you can, anywhere you can cut some costs, hey, that's more dough for you. So Dr. Luke was probably making some extra dough because he didn't have to hire out musicians.
And you can play it the way you hear it.
Yeah.
Like as somebody that me and Rob both play multiple instruments, sometimes I'll be like, well, that's not really the feel I was going for. This is the way I wanted the melody played. Let me show it to you.
Yeah.
And
I remember we were cutting a demo with my band one time, and we were the guy that we were cutting drums, we had hired a drummer to cut drums, and we're at his house and in his studio cutting drums. And there was a song that I just went before we started. I was like, listen, I think like I'm gonna need to play on this one. There's no way it would take hours for me to explain to you my vision for this song on drums. And I was able to do that because I'm proficient enough on drums that I could hear it in my brain and play what I wanted.
Rob is proficient on about 12 instruments, so it's okay.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. You're very kind. But anyway, if you're a musician, learn to play something else. Expand your skill set, and you'll find it'll serve you in all kinds of ways. The
only other 2 people that I would mention, other than Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., who we touched on earlier, B.O.B.
B.O.B. Wonder what the B.O.B. stand for? Do you know?
I would guess maybe
just like
shortened for Bobby. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's just a simplified. Who knows?
Who knows? On bass was Butch Coleman. He is the only other musician that actually plays on the album on the recording other than Dr. Luke. Found nothing of interest in you. Sorry, Butch, if you're listening, other than he lives in Baltimore and he just started a program called Heart for Children that is for people that are financially strapped, and he uses music as a way to help them with that. So,
well,
good heart with Butch.
It's not about the money, man. Give it away.
It's not about the money.
Help the kids.
And the other would be maybe another writer, Claude Kelly, who we talked on earlier, Moonhead, who wrote Party in the USA and Grenade for Bruno Mars. But that's a pretty short and meet the band section. But
You want to know a song that we will never ever be covering on this podcast?
please.
That would be Grenade by Bruno Mars. I despise that song.
That song or Bruno is because I think Bruno is a great live act.
Bruno-
Kayla's my wife. She loved Bruno Mars, one of her favorite live acts ever.
Bruno is an amazing performer. The guy can really sing legitimately. The guy can legitimately dance, and the guy can legitimately entertain. But Grenade is a stupid song. I would no. That chorus is the stupidest.
Yeah.
I would put my hand on a blade for you. What does that even mean? When in your life is there going to be an opportunity for you to just put your hand on a blade to save someone else? Like,
And what good is catching the grenade? Just knock it out of the way.
yeah, throw it back.
Yeah.
Forget that. But it's the blade line that gets me.
Yeah.
Like, babe, you know what? To prove my love for you, I'm just going to throw my hand down on this knife here. And then you'll know.
That's right.
Then you'll understand how much I'm in for you.
Yeah.
That's anyway.
That word.
Sorry. Apologies to my Bruno Mars loving friends, and I have a great many of them. That song is
If
stupid.
we pick a Bruno song, it will not be that one.
Only topped in stupidness among Bruno Mars songs by the song Gorilla. Those are two of the stupidest songs I've ever heard in my life. That's all I'm going to say. By the way, I'm efforting here to try and find out what B.O.B. stands for. It is proving to be a difficult task.
While he's looking for that, I'll give you some other random Jessie J facts. She started recording this debut album in 2005, but it wasn't released till 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, so 6 years she started working on this album.
Man.
And there's some record label conflicts and with all that too, but
gotcha.
that's for another day. She's also the host on The Voice in the UK. She was a host on that. The Voice in the UK.
Listen, Jessie J can sing.
See, and that's funny that Rob highlights that she's a fantastic singer because she's known most notably as a writer, and she actually moved from the UK to California to pursue the vocal side of that more because she's not viewed as a really good singer over there as much as a good writer. And
Wow.
she's like, I'm a singer, I'm a performer. I guess she gets kind of overshadowed by the likes of Adele and other like that. She actually went to Brit school with Adele, and they would sing in the cafeteria at lunchtime together.
Huh.
So they were
No kidding.
they were-
I almost said no figure.
no figure.
No figure. And then it came out like I was just going to swear. Just out
No.
of nowhere.
No,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like she's got like a sort of genuine kind of vintage soulful sound.
It's different. I
yeah.
mean, it's
I love it.
It's not your common UK vocalist.
Yeah.
She also did a song called "My Superstar" in 2016 for the movie Ice Age. The newest Ice Age. My favorite fact about that movie and that song is it was written by Nikki Leonti. You remember her?
Nikki Leonti.
Here's a sidebar
Yeah.
for you. 2 Christian albums on the Pamplin record label.
Oh,
in
that
the
was a great
90s.
label.
Dude, I listened to Nikki Leonti,
Wow.
believe it or not. She's the Jessie J of the 90s Christian music, but she got dropped from that record label because she got pregnant out of wedlock and was completely shunned from the CCM community and is now a backup singer for Carrie Underwood.
No kidding.
Yeah, she sang on
Wow.
over 100 songs for Glee. On over
Really?
100, which is a long.
That's a lot of
That's
songs.
a lot of lists and probably really good royalties.
Wow.
So I guess Nikki Leonti is doing okay.
Nikki Leonti. Let me tell you, if you don't know anything about Pamplin Records in the like mid to late 90s, even early 2000s a little bit, was a great label in the Christian music industry. And then the bubble sort of burst and labels started closing. And now you can't even find stuff that was on Pamplin on digital. You still have to go find it in physical form somewhere.
I wonder if the Katie Hudson, aka Katy Perry, was on Pamplin. I don't remember what label.
I don't
it was.
know.
It was that same era.
They had a lot of great artists. Solomon's Wish.
I love Solomon's
they're
Wish. Oh
so
my
good.
goodness. Grand Scheme is that's a good
Great album.
Solomon's Wish.
Solomon's Wish, the album name is A Wise Man's
Tragedy. Oh.
Such a good album. They had one album and then Pamplin closed and they were never heard from again.
Yeah, I know, right? They do a version of Stop Sign that's really
Yeah.
good. The 70s rock song, 70s, 80s rock song.
Scarecrow and Tin Men.
Yeah.
I believe were also on Pamplin. Several groups that I just loved. Acts artists on
John
Pamplin
Elefante
Records.
produced a lot of stuff for Pamplin. John Elefante, most notably, him and his brother Dino Elefante were big producers, but he actually fronted the band Kansas for a
man.
while. So
I got to play one of his guitars in studio
That's pretty
recording
cool.
one of my band's records. It was very cool. It was like a $10,000 Yamaha acoustic. I was
Wow.
like, this is okay. I could deal with this. Yeah.
and it probably had Ernie Ball Earthwood strings on it. No, probably really high dollar strings.
Okay. B.O.B.
Okay,
I have
back
it.
to this. Okay.
B.O.B. Bobby Ray Simmons takes his rap name from the 2000 Outkast single B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad.
Oh, okay.
I wondered, I thought, it's written the same way, but it's but that's apparently he just. I want to be called B.O.B.
Thanks, Andre, for loaning him that so he could go by it.
So yeah, apparently cool. Now this is if you can believe the internet. So take everything from the internet with a grain of salt. But
internet does not lie.
You know, I mean, I guess you could just say, oh yeah, well he took it from that Outkast song, obviously. But whatever. I'm going to go ahead and say it's true.
Okay. I got another really neat sidebar on Jessie J. She called her fans heartbeats. She said they're the heartbeats. So I wanted to list some bands where their fan base has a name. Like for the Grateful Dead, it's like the Deadheads, yeah. Taylor Swift, Swifties, Justin Bieber, the Beliebers. Do you have any that you know?
Well, you've got Parrot Heads, right? Or Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett
followers, Parrot Heads. I think
other popular ones, Kiss Army from Kiss.
Oh, good call, Kiss Army. Yeah. There's a guy I follow on Twitter, a comedian, and he was kind of a famous Viner in the age of Vine. R.I.P. Vine. I miss you every day. His name is Danny Gonzalez, and very funny dude. And he has decided to collectively call his fan base Greg. So he's just like, shout out to Greg. Like, cool. You guys are keeping it real. Thanks.
That's awesome. There's a bunch, but I wrote down some of my favorites. Neil Diamond Heads was another popular one.
It's pretty much you can add like
heads.
Whatever heads.
Yeah. Josh Groban, the Grobanites. Better than Ezralites. That's a pretty good one. I kind of like that one. Led Zeppelin, Lead Heads. You're right. It's just ites and heads. I just realized that. Yeah. Sister Hazelnuts. That one's pretty good.
Hazelnuts. Good call.
But my personal favorite, I'm a Barry Manilow fan, so the Fanilows.
Fanilows.
I'm a Fanilo.
Miranda Sings, YouTube star / now Netflix star Miranda Sings calls her fan base Mirfandas.
Okay.
I guess any Miranda could actually do that. Miranda Lambert. They could be Mirfandas.
I didn't write this one down, but I think Katy Perry's are like the Katy Cats or something like that.
Ew.
Yeah, I just thought
too
of that
cute.
one.
It's just too cute.
There was a Christian band that had one. Skillet. That's right. This one's not on my notes either. Weren't they the Panheads? Because of Skillet.
Gosh, get out of here.
Yeah. So we were going back. I just thought of that one. That one wasn't on my notes either. Jessie J. On another note, had a panic attack in a gig in 2011. The event was called Blackout. And so it's a completely thing in the dark. And she's like, can we just turn on the lights for a bit? And they wouldn't because the whole event was blackout.
Wow.
And she completely freaked out and had a panic attack and had to cancel the show.
Man, that just sounds like a safety issue waiting to happen. Like, we're going to have, you know what I'm saying?
A show
like,
in the dark.
Man, I mean, people are susceptible to environmental extremes like that. You can't just be turning the lights off for a matter of what I assume was hours, and you're no.
That's not healthy.
I wonder how many people ended up pregnant after that event. You know what I'm saying? You don't just
Nikki Leonti. Were you at the blackout show?
I mean, you don't just put people in a concert setting for multiple hours in the dark and not expect some drama to not go down. You got to have some high insurance stuff happening at that.
She also had a stroke at age of 18, which is young to have a stroke.
She apparently suffers from, I guess these are related, suffers from Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, a hereditary heart condition. Also notable sufferers of that condition in the music industry include Meatloaf and Marilyn Manson.
Wow.
So Meatloaf, Marilyn Manson, and Jessie J.
You know, there's another Jessie J that's a jazz saxophonist.
Did not.
Spelled completely different. It's Jessy. And it's that's the
least popular spelling of Jessie ever.
That's the other Jessie J. And she really originally wanted to be Jessie Jazz. But the producer's like, oh no, that'll never catch on. Her name just
keeps getting worse.
That'll never catch on. But she's a pretty good jazz saxophonist.
Well, that's good for her. I'm glad she's not Jessie Jazz. Like
that's worse.
That's no. Maybe she was trying to go, like Johnny Football. You know what I mean? Like Donnie Baseball, that kind of thing. To just be your last name of your nickname, just be an assumption that like, oh, when you say baseball, you say Don Mattingly. Yeah, you know what I mean. But Jessie Jazz just doesn't. No, that doesn't do it in the same way.
Yeah. No.
Is there a basketball equivalent? Is there anybody whose nickname is like
Something basketball?
Yeah, like
Mr.
Doc basketball. Or like,
Yeah. Doc
I don't know.
basketball. We should call Julius Erving Doc basketball.
yeah. Yeah, if anybody deserves it, it's the doctor. Okay, you got any other facts on the song, facts on Jessie J?
That's what I'm pretty tapped right there.
Okay. Like I said, this song is basically the extent of my Jessie J knowledge. I know, what's it? Bang Bang. I do know Bang Bang, but that's really it. This is kind of outside of my listening thing.
Aren't there special guests on that? Isn't Ariana Grande on that?
Yeah,
Nicki
Ariana
Minaj?
Grande, and I feel like there's one
Nicki
other.
Minaj?
Nicki. Yep. That's the deal. But that's it. That's all I know. I'm super glad. I love this song. I listen to it a lot with my kids, and I have a random assorted playlist of things that we listen to in the car, a lot of which are things that I don't ordinarily listen to, but they're sort of one-offs for me. I found an artist that I really like one of their songs, and so we listen to it in the car a lot. It's a lot of fun. Everything from this to, do you happen to remember in the mid-'90s when dance music took over for a hot second and everything was Ace of Base and This Is the Night and Dancing Free Until the Morning Light and all that awful crap. Barbie Girl. It was just the worst. There was a period.
I actually had the signed Ace of Base album.
I could stomach Ace of Base, but the rest of it, I just couldn't. But anyway, there was a guy named Scatman John. Do you remember Scatman John?
Mm-hmm.
And he had this song called Scatman, and it was literally him doing jazz scat over like an electronic dance beat. Now EDM at the time was not what EDM is now. It was just all that, and that's about all it was.
Casio keyboard loop.
Yeah, and it was just interminable and awful.
If he was John Scatman, he could have been in our conversation.
That's right. When you think of Scatman, you think of
John
Scatman.
John Scatman.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to play
a sampling just so I can hear what you're talking
about. Here's Scatman John. Hang on. Don't leave.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat
All right, I have never heard that, and I will probably never hear that again. But that was a scat man. I felt like I was doing the Night at the Roxbury car thing the whole time.
Exactly.
So.
That's the groove that took over music for about 2-3 years, and I hated it. But you're welcome, I think is what you meant to say.
No,
you meant to say,
I forgive
thank
you. Is what we're still friends. It's all good. We'll keep doing this, but no.
Scatman John, his whole deal was that was the only song that you can't call it a hit. It wasn't a hit, but it made an appearance on.
Was it on Pamplin?
But he suffered badly from a stutter. He had a bad stutter, but there's a thing among a lot of stutterers who, when they sing, they don't stutter. That they're, people who have really bad crippling stutters when they speak can sometimes sing.
That's cool.
And it doesn't come out. And so he was able to do that. But apparently if he just spoke, it was
trouble.
Very stilted conversation.
Did he remind you of the Micro Machine guy? Remember those commercials?
Yes, he actually looked a lot like the Micro Machine guy.
Yeah.
He had the big, thick Dale Earnhardt mustache.
Play a clip of the Micro Machine commercial. Can you pull that up?
Let's see if we can find one.
Let's see if we can find a Micro Machine commercial.
Okay, we're just, we're going off the rails here today. Let's just hold on.
Give us 19 seconds.
The Micro Machine Man.
The Micro Machine Man here, aircraft carrier there. You can't have that, but you can have this. The new Micro Machine aircraft carrier playset. The dramatically detailed, terrifically trimmed replica of the real thing that holds 25 Micro Machines with fabulous, fantastic features. 2 totally terrific elevators, real working hoist, runway, and 2 cargo arms. The new Micro Machine aircraft carrier playset from Galoob. Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
So full disclosure, we spent more than 19 seconds because we got hooked on the guy that did the Micro Machine commercials. John Machida, we think is his name.
I think, yep.
Super fast talking guy. Great backstory on him. Look up his history on why he's so fast talking.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's for a good cause, but really neat. So that was that.
So Scatman John and John Machida, the fastest talking Johns that we know.
Yeah. They look very similar. They both have that amazing mustache and bald heads.
And kind of bald heads, and Scatman John looks meaner. Scatman John looks like he's the principal of
He's the evil twin.
Yes.
In the
parallel universe, John Machida.
Yeah.
And of course, that's where we ended up. I mean, naturally, that is the progression.
From
if you're
price
talking
tag.
about price tag, it's not about the money. It's about talking really, really fast. So I think that's going to wrap it up. God knows we need to get out of here before we go off anywhere else. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Great Song Podcast. We'll be back next week with another great song for you. Until then, I'm Rom.
I'm JP.
Go listen to some music.